Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Your super chat support allows me to do these live streams to my new Patreons. Thank you. You help my channels immensely. If you enjoy my work, ladies and gentlemen, your super chat is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. If you want to talk about the Twitter Files Part 8, Elon Musk stepping down, finding a CEO, the economy, crypto, FTX giving $1 billion to one political party, according to Elon Musk, a whole bunch of other issues. I did tell you that crypto would tank. I was one of the very few people in all of YouTube that told you that crypto would tank. I do believe it's going to get to below 10,000. I've been saying that forever. Bitcoin. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. To my super chat again, thank you. I will have a live stream again later this evening. Let's get started. Born to Raise Hogs, thank you so very, very much as always. CF Rob, thank you. I can't thank you enough, everybody. Born to Raise Hogs, thank you again for starting off the super chat. Twitter Files Part 8. How Twitter quietly aided the Pentagon's online campaign. Eric Samurai, hello. No PhD, Coyote, everybody here, hello. This is very important. I'm going to explain why. Again, Born to Raise Hawks, thank you again. I'm going to explain why this is very, very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? The issue here is when the United States government, okay, when the United States government works alongside influences in any manner, whether it's overt or in a surreptitious manner, when state actors influence the private sector to silence debate, speech, dialogue, discourse, that is breaking the First Amendment. Now, you have to understand something. The Democratic Party, okay, really does not exist. It cannot compete. The Democratic Party cannot compete, ladies and gentlemen, without endless advantages, like a wide range of competitive advantages. They just simply can't compete without all of these competitive advantages. Why is that? Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. The Twitter Files Part 8 show that you even had millions of dollars going into Twitter from the Federal Bureau of Investigation as kind of like a thank you, okay? Almost as if they were paying to silence debate, dialogue, discourse, discussion about Hunter's laptop. Hunter's laptop leads to felonies. That's the difference. Born to Raise Hogs, thank you again. To my super chat, thank you. I cannot do this without you. When you talk about why they suspended, Ernest, hello, the New York Post, the reason, ladies and gentlemen, is because the story, the story, the story actually, um, the story actually links or correlates directly to potential criminal charges against even our current president. Okay, that's the issue. It wasn't because another country might have infiltrated Hunter's laptop and fabricated certain messages. The Federal Bureau of Investigation already had Twitter's laptop. They sided with the Democratic Party just like they did during the after Trump defeated Clinton, and even before that. Okay, um, they did so for a reason. When you see these stories where you have officials and bureaucrats tweeting, "We'll stop Trump." They're not going to sign a letter saying, "We are breaking laws." Signed these bureaucrats and government officials and Democrats. That's not the way they do things. They don't just sign a letter of intent stating they're going to infiltrate the government with a false document, false, not misleading, not information that misinforms, completely false document named the Steele dossier. Okay, it was a completely false document. Veteran Anarchy, hello. It was a completely false document that was filtered through the United States government. Now government officials we're actually working with Twitter employees. Now, really quickly, before we get to each each Twitter revelation within Li Fang's Twitter thread. No, the FBI is not paying Twitter to censor. This is a brilliant journalist in a wonderful publication, Tech Dirt, and I want to just read you the rebuttals that come that result from all of this. Okay, I want to read you the reason why a great many people in media do not understand or don't acknowledge how important the Twitter files are. This is a wonderfully written article. However, I'm going to explain to you some of the things that perhaps it overlooks. Sigh, sigh. Look, I want to stop right, and this is a brilliant journalist, wonderful publication. This is, with all due respect, my humble rebuttal to the arguments presented here. Okay? Look, I want to stop writing about Twitter. I want to write about lots of other stuff. I have a huge list of other stories I'm trying to get through, but then Elon Musk does something dumb again and people run wild with it, and for reasons that perplex me. Well, we're going to explain the reasons why people are running wild. We're going to explain now exactly why government censorship, influenced by government bureaucrats to silence conservatives, is a serious story. Much of the media that run with it must said or completely just ignored it. But Musk is either deliberately lying about stuff or too ignorant to understand what he's talking about, and I don't know which is worse. Though neither is a good look. Or perhaps this article doesn't address the key issues that he's talking about. Today, his argument the Federal Bureau of Investigation has been paying Twitter to censor, and he suggests this is a big scandal. He did not, that is not the premise of his argument. His argument is that government bureaucrats influenced the private sector through a variety of means to silence debate, discourse, discussion, and dialogue. This is exactly what happened. Government paid Twitter millions of dollars to censor info from the public. Now, part of this article is saying, wait a second, that's not true. He didn't just pay to censor. CF Rob must should have point. Exactly. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Donald Trump Jr. as CEO. That would be amazing. CF Rob, thank you. So, so this would be a big scandal if it's true, but of course it's not. It's flat out wrong. No, it is true. But the problem is a lot of media, they want a letter from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or they want a letter from Hillary Clinton, they want a letter from Mitt Romney, they want a letter from government. Okay, we government bureaucrats sign this letter to directly pay for this conservative account to be silenced, thus breaking the First Amendment. Signed, the our you know and again, this is no disrespect to the author or the journalist, or Tech Dirt is a fantastic publication. The journalist here, the writer, is a fantastic writer. I'm just giving my 2 cents. This would be a big scandal, but it's not true. It's just flat out wrong. No, it is true. It's not wrong at all. As with pretty much every of these misleading statements regarding the very Twitter that he runs, where people, I guess maybe just former people, could explain to him why he's wrong, it takes way more time and detail to explain why he's wrong than for him to push these misleading lines that will now be taken as fact. No, it is fact. The reality is that the government did influence and silence dialogue through willing participants. Here, first up, we already did a large debunker on the idea that the Federal Bureau of Investigation or any government entity was in any way involved in the Twitter decision to block links to the Hunter laptop story. No, they were involved, very much so involved. Okay, they were very much so involved, and simply falling back on a pretext like, "Oh, you have to be careful. This could be information that was hacked." That's the way they influence. These are deceptive practices. Again, they're not going to write a letter saying, "Breaking laws, we're breaking the First Amendment. Please do this for us." They're going to say, "This could be an influence campaign from another country." And then they know very well it isn't, and there you go. That's how they do things, ladies and gentlemen. They're not government bureaucrats are not stupid. Okay, some are duplicitous, disingenuous, some could be sinister, but they're not stupid. They know exactly how to influence. Most of the people believe that have either ignored that there was no. Most of the people who believed that have either ignored that there was no evidence to support it. Well, there is definitely evidence. You have people, government officials who had clear the ability to actually delete conservative accounts, or have simply moved on to new lies, suggesting the Federal Bureau was sending lists to Twitter to, again, this is focusing on minutia and ignoring the actual story. They don't have to send lists. The government doesn't have to send lists. Okay, they can just have a whole bunch of agents working with the trust and safety or moderation team, like euphemistic departments within Twitter, to silence conservatives. You don't see many Democrats silenced. You see many Republicans. There is a reason why that took place. You have government officials siding with the Democratic Party. The problem is, once again, that's not what the Twitter file shows. Even as the reporter is working, they actually is. I'm no fan of the Bureau, the journalist says, and have spent much of the past 2.5 decades here at Tech criticizing it. But there's literally no scandal here. Oh, there definitely is. Or if there is one, it's something entirely different, which we'll get to at the end of the article. What the files show is that the Federal Bureau of Investigation would occasionally, so listen to how this is all mitigated. Okay, what the files show, and here you have the argument from media. What the files show. Okay, hold on one second. Not very often, frankly, use reporting tools to alert Twitter to accounts that potentially violated Twitter's rules. Um, Even if that were true, there is a political motivation into doing this. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is a law enforcement and intelligence agency. It has no business reporting any account on what it thinks is a violation of Twitter's rules, because it will not report, it has not reported Democratic, like top Democratic pundits, for example, or newspapers that break publications that break Twitter's rules when it comes to the Steele dossier, for example. The Steele dossier could have been easily viewed as information emanating from another country because guess what? It was. The Steele dossier was completely false. BuzzFeed published it. It was not against Twitter's rules. The Bureau did not inform Twitter that BuzzFeed was breaking its rules. Okay? When the FBI did so, it was pretty clear that it was just targeting these accounts for Twitter to review. Yes, for a political purpose. Why do you think these bureaucrats went out of their way to go after accounts that overwhelmingly leaned right or conservative? And if the rebuttal then is, well, those were Twitter's rules, okay, then why did Twitter have a policy that targeted conservative thought, ideology, viewpoints? That's the problem here. You have you have all the entire landscape. It's not a level playing field at all. So government officials were getting involved. They didn't have any right to, in terms of the First Amendment. and no expectation that the company would do anything about it. Oh, yes, they did expect that. There were numerous emails where there was pushback from the Bureau. See, again, this is with all due respect, this is not the case. The 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 notion that the Bureau or any government agency would simply have no political purpose other than to just help Twitter is not reality. There was a political purpose. The political purpose was not to just simply help Twitter in enforcing its rules. The political purpose was to side with the Democratic Party, ruin Trump's chances because there were a great many top level officials who despised Trump at the Bureau. In fact, they're explicit in their emails that accounts may have potentially constituted violations of Twitter terms of service. Yeah, and Twitter can take any action or inaction deemed appropriate within Twitter policies, simply because they offer Twitter a legal disclaimer. Do you think that there was still no political motivation? I mean, they're not going to write to Twitter, hey, do this for us. We don't like Trump, signed the FBI. They're going to say, hey, you probably should look at that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You probably should look at that. They're not telling the Federal Bureau of Investigation to look at other publications that publish lies or deceitful statements about Trump, which are endless. You had NBC News, CNN, you had BuzzFeed publish categorically false statements or stories about Trump that they had to retract, or they got sued in terms of defamation. BuzzFeed won its defamation suit because they said, hey, the government, this was an ongoing government document. So this was an ongoing government document. That's the issue. So when they say, well, the Bureau didn't threaten them, no, it's called coercion. The best way to influence is to get somebody to do something they wouldn't do willingly because they feel that they want to do it, to convince them that it's in their own benefit to do so while you benefit also. That's the best way to coerce or influence. Gee, this is probably going to help you out. When in reality, you're saying that because it helps you. Okay? This is not a demand. No, it's not a formal demand. This is true. This is a form of coercion. There is no coercion associated with the email. You're talking about one email. You're talking about one email. You're not talking about a relationship predicated upon targeting accounts that disagree with what the Bureau finds a political advantage or benefit or their political viewpoint. So there is coercion, but there's not coercion within one email. It takes a whole relationship. You could find dysfunctional relationships between husband and wife everywhere. If you just focused on one statement between husband and wife, you would say, well, that they're fantastic. What's the problem? You're not looking at the overall aggregate bird's eye view. And it certainly appears that Twitter frequently rejected these from the government. That's also the issue also. So God forbid Twitter says no to government intervention and the First Amendment being broken. So if Twitter's doing its job and actually protecting the First Amendment, they shouldn't be rewarded. So anyway, Twitter's most recent transparency report lists all of the legal demands the company received from content removals in the U.S., and its compliance rate is 40.6%. So what? In other words, the compliance rate of the 40.6%, almost 100% of all of the requests had to do with Hunter's laptop, conservative voices like Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk. I mean, so again, these are numbers that don't correlate to the aggregate, the bird's eye view, what's the coercion. So you can look and say, well, there's nothing wrong. I mean, they were just having a nice conversation with the Bureau. They're just having a nice conversation with the Bureau. That's it. It's like That's not the case. The case, ladies and gentlemen, is the aggregate view. Here, for example, Michael Schellenberger shows Twitter's chief of moderation and safety rejecting a request. So what? So you have one rejection. Fantastic. The issue is all the times that the trust and safety or moderation team silenced conservatives. What is the ratio of conservatives silenced to liberals silenced? There was no article about Trump that was suspended because it could have emanated from a foreign source. There was the Hunter Biden laptop scandal that did lead to felonies, okay, where in those emails, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? I give 10% to the big man. Thanks for introducing Joe to us. Biden lied about meeting Hunter's business associates. Why did he lie? Because he was getting a cut. It's within those emails. That's bribery, graft, kickbacks. These are serious felonies. Again, all due respect to the writer and the publication. Tech Dirt is a fantastic publication. To not see the overt political bias that the Bureau has. I mean, why are they even talking to Twitter? Because of politics, because they're siding with the Democratic Party. There's no national security issue with Twitter. What if someone is breaking the law, they can simply force Twitter to give them all the information about that account. They don't need to sift through different accounts and say, okay, silence this person, censor this person. Now we could have an interesting discussion. I actually don't think it's an interesting discussion about whether or not the government should be targeting accounts to review as terms of service. It is a very interesting discussion. Right now, anyone could do this. The government is doing this for a political purpose. That is what's breaking the government targeting an account is different from a private citizen who uh, doesn't like what an account stands for. Very different. Okay, the government is doing so for, I mean, the citizen could too, but the government is what the First Amendment prevents from targeting because of political speech. You or I can go to Twitter and see something that we think violates, but you or I are not the Federal Bureau of Investigation or Homeland or the Pentagon or whatever. Twitter will review the content, determine whether it violates. Okay, that's an open and interesting question. Should government officials and entities be allowed to do the same thing? No, they shouldn't. Considering that anyone else can do it, the company still reviews against its own terms, feels free to reject these requests and do not appear to violate. I'm hard pressed to see the problem here on its own. The problem here is that the company and the Bureau have the same political viewpoint. Okay? I'm sure the author of this article would agree that J. Edgar Hoover had political biases. J. Edgar Hoover sided with political power. J. Edgar Hoover went after officials for political reasons. So to remove the major component of why government gets involved with private sector ignores the entire story. As for the accounts that were targeted, everything was revealed. Everything revealed to Twitter, it mostly appears to be accounts that were telling a certain segment of the population, sometimes Republicans, no, mostly Republicans, to vote. The election rather than Tuesday. Twitter had announced long before such tweets were violent, but it does appear that a number of those tweets were meant as jokes. Okay, it was a lot more than that. Given today, there's only evidence that the only evidence that people can look regarding the Federal Bureau sent list of censors that Federal Bureau targeted accounts that were pretty clearly violating Twitter policies. Um, Twitter policies about here's the thing: if Twitter was around during Bush v. Gore, only Democrats would be censored. Okay, so you have to the if you have a policy that says nobody can complain about results, and you take a time machine back to Bush v. Gore in 2000, only Democrats would be kicked. Or Stacey Abrams broke Twitter policies all the time. There are even articles saying she believes that she's still the governor of Georgia. Okay. Again, these policies are not even-handed. It was these Twitter was an extension of the Democratic Party. That's not hyperbole. There was no Trump supporter on Twitter. There is no Trump supporter in a position of power at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. If there is, then they definitely do not have the ability to investigate Hunter or Joe or anyone else, or at least make that a focus of the department. Again, great article, but this is the issue. They will see what they want to see, even like if you don't want to find potential criminality or corruption within the Twitter files, you won't. You will remove context. You will remove political motivation from the equation, and it'll just be apolitical actors simply engaging in tasks that are seemingly benign. That's it. So there's no censorship, but what about these payments? No, there is censorship. There definitely is. Again, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is not going to ask, hey, you must censor this conservative. Signed the Bureau. That will never happen. That will never happen. And the trust and safety team before Elon Musk will never write a letter saying, hey, give us some pretext. Just give us some pretext to investigate or to silence Trump or to silence the New York Post. So the Bureau campaign, I'm happy to report we collected 3,415,323 since October, reports an associate of Jim Baker. Influence campaign. Okay, so, but this is misleading. Understanding of how things work. It's not misleading, misunderstanding. It is the truth. They had nothing to do with any influence campaign. The law already says that if the Bureau is legally requesting information, a number of different legal authorities, the company receiving these requests can be reimbursed. Again, simply falling back on bureaucracy or protocol, you can be in an office and protocol can be, oh, well, you can't use the copy machine past 6 p.m. If the manager doesn't like somebody and they see the person they don't like using the copy machine past 6 p.m., and it's not that big of a deal, it's totally fine. Other people are doing it, but they don't like that one person, they can technically fire the individual for using the copy machine past 6 p.m. Is that completely devoid of any um, bias? Joel Valdez! Sorry I'm late to class, Professor HM here now. Joel Valdez! Thank you! That is an awesome profile pic, Joel Valdez. Thank you. You look handsome and suave, debonair. Joel Valdez, thank you. Thank you, Joel, as always. To my super chat, I can't do this without you. Again, so, okay, the limit to, no. Now there's reason to be, I mean, going back to 23, it was revealed the program was interpretation. Okay, and so you have a situation, government paid Twitter millions to censor it from the public. So if there's any scandal at all, it remains the lack of more detailed transparency about orders or the ability of companies like Twitter to have standing to challenge them on behalf of users. And also, there are reasonable arguments why judges are too quickly to approve orders as valid under the Fourth Amendment. But literally, none of that is the FBI paid Twitter to censor people. And here's the other line. Again, it's exactly what they did. To say that did Trump conversely did Trump tell people to commit criminal acts? No, he did not. Did he tell the president of that country being invaded now to investigate Biden or you will not get military aid, signed Trump? No. No. But the entire media and political establishment. Trump said this and he did this and he meant this and he's subliminally, he's influencing, he's pressuring. That's what they do through bureaucratic means. Okay, that's the issue. This is the problem with the Twitter files when it comes to people like the media that don't want to address the actual story. Okay, when media does not want to address the actual story, media will then say, well, there's nothing to see here. What's the problem? What's the problem? There's nothing to see here. What could be the problem? We already understand. Yes, almost everything they do is within the law, but they break the law by working within the law. How is that possible? How can you break the law by working within the law? Well, John Durham, before the Durham probe, put a Federal Bureau of Investigation official, basically sentenced him to life in prison, okay, for working with informants and becoming part of the criminal organization that he was deriving information from, okay? He wasn't breaking overtly any laws. Everything that he was doing, this was in Boston. A lot of maybe almost everything he was doing was bureaucratic and legal. You can influence bureaucracies a million different ways to get what you want done legally. Okay? This is not rocket science. Now, this article and this article is a lot more honest. The one I read was a lot more honest than people, like the Washington Post or other publications. They just say, well, there was nothing. You didn't get a letter signed by, Twitter and government saying we're going to censor these people. Joel Valdez, Lake picked on the wrong. That's true. That's good. The trial. Hopefully, she wins the trial. Joel Valdez, exactly. Thank you to my super chat. Thank you to my new Patreons. Thank you again. Joel, thank you so very, very much. If you want to be a Patreon of my channel, ladies and gentlemen, go to hagoodman.com or in any of the uploads, and it'll be below in the description section. The pinned comment also. Joel Valdez, thank you. I hope she wins. I just don't want a situation where it's constant loss and then lawsuit. Eventually, there has to be some kind of detente between these state parties. Okay, so here, there's a couple of in this thread that I'm just gonna fly through. I won't actually read just because of YouTube policies. You can actually go to the thread yourself. But Twitter has claimed for years they made concerted efforts to detect and thwart government-backed platform manipulation. Here is Twitter testifying to Congress about its pledge to rapidly identify and shut down all state-backed covert information operations and deceptive propaganda. It doesn't include, apparently, the United States of America. So, behind the scenes, Twitter gave approval and special protection to the U.S. military, the Pentagon, CENTCOM, and you have Twitter was, again, influenced by these government agencies. Here you have the Department of Defense. Okay? So the Department of Defense was used. And you have government now working with Twitter's communication team. We're closely in touch with reporters working to minimize Twitter's role. When the Washington Post reported on the scandal, Twitter officials congratulated each other because the story didn't mention any Twitter employees and focused largely on the Pentagon. That will also, again, you're talking about people on the same team. Gigi! Gigi, thank you! Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you for everything you do to keep the truth out there. God bless. Thank you so very much. God bless you, Gigi. Thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Gigi, thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. I do appreciate your support and the support of everybody here via Super Chat. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hope you're having a great evening. And thank you so much, Gigi. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. The conduct of the U.S. military covert network stands in stark contrast with how Twitter had boasted about rapidly identifying and taking down covert accounts. Again, see, you are using government. You're using government to um, you're using government to silence critics. Okay. Then Elon Musk, I will resign as CEO as soon as I find someone foolish enough to take the job. So it's actually better, really quickly, it's actually better. Gigi, thank you again to my super chat. Thank you so much. Gigi, thank you. Um, it's actually better that um that another CEO is named. You might not think so. You might say that's not. At first, can I tell you something? I didn't want like, and let me know. I mean, do you think it's good that? Do you think it's good that um, Elon Musk um, is stepping down eventually? Now, hopefully, he finds somebody far more um, like that possesses his value system in a much greater like is has his same value system, but doesn't care about the media onslaught. See, this is why most Americans don't trust media. Media is on one team, the Democratic Party's team. Government is on the Democratic Party's team. Never Trump Republicans is on the Democratic Party and government and media's team. Trump Republicans, billionaires like Elon Musk, who don't fall in line with the Democratic Party, I would say even parts of the far left as well. If you want to, I mean, the far left has no problem. There are elements of the far left parts of that have no problem with Trump. They really don't. And if they vote Democrat, it's just because of peer pressure, or they just say, I'm not voting Democrat or Republican. And that's actually the most honorable. That's actually the most honorable viewpoint if you're on the left. If you were like a socialist or a communist and you vote Democrat, you're not a communist. You're just a Democrat, which is fine. Be who you are. Like you have these like people, like million sub channels. They're like, oh, I'm a democratic socialist. No, you're not. You're a liberal Democrat. You're no different from Rob Reiner. You just speak to a younger audience and you have some progressive views. But at the end of the day, you're always going to vote Democrat no matter what. Vote blue no matter who is a sad way to live. Because I don't like if Trump had private servers with top secret intel siphoned out, and he had Hunter's emails, but they were Trump's emails, and uh, Eric Trump was providing kickbacks to alter U.S. foreign policy, I wouldn't vote for Trump. Okay, I wouldn't vote for Trump if he acted like a Democrat. So, Team Trump is 70 plus million Americans. Okay, Team Trump is perhaps not as powerful yet as the Democratic Party, government officials, and these gigantic, very powerful corporations. But he's getting there slowly but surely. Now, it could be DeSantis that takes the baton. It could be DeSantis that takes the baton. That could be the case. You could have Ron DeSantis take the baton. Trump ushered in a populist movement within the Republican Party. And that's what he did. That's what he was able to do. He was able to begin a populist um, political party, or he was able to make a corporate militarist, militant political party, a corporate. Um, he was able to make a political party that had no problem with endless wars. Um, Counterinsurgency conflict, a militaristic political party. He was able to make a political party, the Republican Party, turn it into a populist political party. The populism that he was able to evoke was the same populism as Bernie Sanders, just a bit more conservative. Bernie Sanders uh, had very similar immigration policies to Trump in 2016. Okay? Similar, not the same, similar. Bernie Sanders had the same viewpoint on tariffs. Bernie Sanders hated Rob loved DeSantis. Loved DeSantis. Bernie Sanders had the same views on foreign policy as Trump. See, when people ask, well, how did you go from Bernie Sanders to Trump? They don't actually really know Bernie's policies. He was somebody who didn't want. Bernie Sanders is the tool of the Democratic Party. Fine, no problem. I understand that. He was cheated and he said nothing about it. And then he went after Trump, and he hasn't even brought up the fact that poverty has increased under Biden. The economy is in turmoil right now. Okay, the economy is in turmoil. So you would think, I mean, we had record low poverty under Trump. We had a record low poverty. Okay. We had record low poverty under Trump. And you would think if you're on the left, in 2019, we had record low poverty. We have now close to 15% poverty. We had close to 10% poverty under Trump. Okay. You would think that if you're on the left, you would love Trump. One would think that. Okay. Looking poverty rate right here. According to the census, it's 12.8%. It was 10%. But according to Columbia University, it was, hold on, 14.9%. Monthly poverty rate, 14.5%. It was 14.7% in June, and things got worse. Exactly, Philip, exactly. Monthly poverty increased in June and remained elevated in July. So this is the Poverty Center at Columbia University. Okay. Monthly poverty rate for June was 14.7%. Now, it was childhood poverty went up to 17.2%. So all the metrics that the left says, "Oh, well, you know what? Look how great, you need Democrats. You need them." It's like here, this is right here. Center on Poverty and Social Policy. They create the poverty, then they send out the checks, And they say, you see how great we are? We care about this, but you caused the poverty rate to go up. And then they say, well, without these checks, then poverty will just, I mean, people will be stuck in poverty. It's like, well, you caused the poverty. Joel Valdez would love to see Trump on Twitter and watch snowflakes melt on the spot. Yes, with his comment. I would love that also. I hope that he gets back on soon. Right now, he needs to. Joel, I agree with you. That would be awesome. He needs to. I think that he should as soon as possible. As soon as possible. But you know what? Maybe he's just taking his time. Maybe it's too early, he thinks. The Atlantic here. The prosecution of Trump runs into over what? You talking about like here's the thing when I read the article on Twitter files, people say, "Oh well, they didn't do anything wrong. They were just here. This is not wrong." Trump did not tell anyone to commit crimes. End of story. You can't prosecute him. Was it smart? No. The January wasn't smart. Was it worse than $1 to $2 billion in property damage, 19 lives lost, 14,000 arrests that summer? And I agree with why people demonstrated. It was a noble cause, why people demonstrated. It wasn't noble, the property damage or the lives lost. So I understand there's a difference. But you're talking about property damage in one location, chaos and mayhem and arrests, and the same in another location for one day. Democrats don't care about chaos and mayhem. They care about it if they can tie it to Trump. And again, it's like not completely black and white. Trump was not smart to have that day. CMW! Thank you, CMW. Keep firing Godspeed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, CMW. Thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. CMW, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, CMW. I hope all is well. Joel, thank you again. I hope all is well, CMW. Thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you so very, very much. And you have like the Washington Post, CMW. This is the Agnew option. Spiro Agnew was convicted of crimes. So that is a different story. Here, this is hilarious. The Washington Post, bottom right here. It could be a way out for Trump, but he wants to be president again. So it's like, you know, he was here. Agnew took kickbacks from contractors during his time as Baltimore County executive and governor of Maryland. So a little bit different. The kickbacks are taken by Hunter. So it's funny. Like when you catch them in the act, they say, "Well, Trump is worse. Everything's relative." And then if CMW when they actually do commit crimes like Hunter and Joe, these are felonies. He committed a felony. He can't alter U.S. foreign policy, force out a prosecutor that was going to investigate the corporation Hunter was working at. Then when you catch them, they say, no, 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 you can't prove anything. But it's right there. Again, like you're not going to get a letter from Hunter saying, we are trying to get kickbacks to enrich ourselves. Signed Hunter Biden. It will never happen. Just like you won't get like a bank robber to say, we tried to open the safe, signed bank robber. This is a personal confession. We were there that night. Um, we came out with a whole bag of money, um, but you can't prove it's us. I'm like, okay, well, but those emails, they have 150 financial transactions investigated by banks. Exactly, TMWT, exactly. So CMW, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you. You have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where they don't, the system convinces itself, like people who despise Trump convince themselves that they're better than Trump. The problem is the corruption is not with Trump, it's within the Democratic Party. FTX, a billion according to Elon Musk, 40 to 70 million disclosed. Um, the crypto crash, and we don't even know. I mean, I am telling everybody, I've been telling people Binance, Tether, and Coinbase are going to go under. Binance, Tether, and Coinbase will go under. And I've been saying that since Binance, I haven't until recently, but Coinbase and Tether, I've been saying. And then you're going to see Bitcoin, unfortunately, way below 10,000. And you can tell if you're in crypto or you're interested in crypto, tell everyone I said that Coinbase, and I've been predicting the Bitcoin crash since 2021. The secret spaceship! The secret spaceship! One of the great names in this channel's history. Who's the man who almost single-handedly divided us with his endless lies? I can't say his name, but it rhymes with Saddam's. He's still spewing baloney. I'd love to see. Thanks, AJ Orange Power. The secret spaceship. Yay, CMW, the secret spaceship. Thank you. Congressman Schiff will be replaced. Joel Valdez, hello. He will be replaced by Mike Turner. Mike Turner will have Jim Jordan, James Comer. Secret Spaceship, remember these three names. CMW, remember these three names. Joel Valdez, remember these three names. Mike Turner, Jim Jordan, James Comer. Mike Turner, Jim Jordan, James Comer. These people are going to be rock stars. They are going to be absolute rock stars. Jim Jordan. Wait, Mike Turner. Mike Turner, James Comer, and Jim Jordan. House Oversight Chairman James Comer. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner. Okay? I'm going to say it again just to be annoying, because that's how I do things. Secret Spaceship, CMW, Joel Valdez. 3 new rock stars. Hello. James Comer, House Oversight, Jim Jordan, House Judiciary, and Mike Turner, House Intel Committee. And don't forget Chuck Grassley. But that's in the Senate. So, and then they're like, well, then you have some Democrats in the Senate. We're going to investigate Kushner. Well, go ahead. He's a billionaire who didn't commit a crime. Have fun with that one. Go ahead and have fun with that one. Hunter is under criminal investigation. By the way, here's the difference between me and the average morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat. Secret Spaceship, thank you again. CMW, Joel Valdez. I don't dislike Joe Biden. Like when I see Joe Biden or Hunter Biden, I don't dislike them. I don't care. I don't care enough about who they are as like I don't they don't represent anything vile to me other than a criminal that like Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden are not very different from me. For me, I don't despise Sam Bankman-Fried. He is uh you know, Bernie Madoff I despise, yes, but he's somebody just he committed financial crimes. These people commit financial crimes. Okay, they want to the most lucrative profession is politician. You're not just getting taxpayer money; you're getting a lot of money. That's why when Trump he doesn't get secret spaceship. He doesn't get the love that he deserves. Joel Valdez, take the Twitter CEO job. If he gave it to me, I would work 1 hour a day and that's it. And what I would do is then outsource it to like Devin Nunes. I would hire Devin Nunes and Cash Patel to run Twitter for me if I was the CEO. But Devin Nunes was True Social, so but hello, Joel Valdez, exactly. The secret spaceship, born to raise hawks. Thank you again, as always. Here's the thing: like Trump has to say, like, look, if you like, he has to go to the Arizona Republican Party and Georgia Republican Party and say, free lifetime membership at Mar-a-Lago, free reality show production. I don't know, residuals in your own documentary on how wonderful you are. I don't know. Like he has to sweeten the pot for these people because they are petrified of negative media coverage. So he has to like give because the way Democrats work is like your GoFundMe will go through the roof. If you're a Democrat or if you're a government official, if you're a conservative, GoFundMe will pull the account. That's why if you're a conservative in any like shape or form, and you have a GoFundMe that reaches a certain like you cash out quick. You don't just wait until they're we had to. It's we got a call from Trudeau or we got a call from we have to. The system is not level. The system gives too many incentives. Like only in this world could Liz Cheney be viewed as this heroic biblical like individual on the left. Like, oh, Liz Cheney, we disagree on policy, Liz, but you're such a good person. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, never ending counterinsurgency conflicts and wars. You're a good person, Liz Cheney. Adam Kinzinger, you're a good person. You voted alongside Trump 90% of the time, Adam Kinzinger. You're a good person. You're a good person, Adam Kinzinger. I just wish that you and Mittens Romney and Paul Ryan and good Republicans everywhere and Jeff Flake. I wish you could rid us of this monster, heathen, barbarian. Help us, good Republican, so we can defeat you every single time. You stink. You're so weak. They don't really care about Liz Cheney. Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney voted alongside Trump 90% of the time. Okay? Lars, hello. 90% of the time. Jesse, hello. And so you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, why did Liz Cheney and add here, just right here, it's right here, it's right here, Adam Kinzinger, it's right here. Tracking Congress in the age of Trump. They make everything so like it's just like they say normies, that the normal people. Tracking Congress in the age of Trump. The age of Trump. Oh, there was Genghis Khan, then the Mongols, Genghis Khan, the Mongols, and then there were the Vikings. Let's see, yeah, the Vikings, and then Genghis Khan. Okay, wait, and then there was Trump, the conqueror, the barbarian. An age of Trump. Everything is just so. It's just so like um Like so dramatic, you know? So dramatic. It's like you couldn't just say like, okay, you couldn't just say like, oh, in Trump's administration, the era of Trump era. Oh, so when he has that constipated look on his face, maybe he's thinking of the fact that he voted alongside Trump 90% of the time. Lars, thank you. Cracking Congress in the age of Trump. He tried to overthrow the government. Trump. Why is it so difficult to get him indicted? Well, maybe because he didn't. Maybe because you're apoplectic imbeciles who relish in histrionics. Maybe that's why. It was a bad move by Trump to have that day, no doubt. Very bad move. Very bad move. Not smart. He was like, God bless it. We're going to do the same things Democrats did to voice our discontent. Can't do it. Can't do that. You know, you will not be treated the same. No, can't do that. There are people throughout that summer clashing with law enforcement. CNN didn't care. Okay, but when the Trumpers clash, whoa, you better believe it's the end of democracy. Again, bad day. So Adam Kinzinger, like HK, hello. Adam Kinzinger looks here like this is he has this look like he's constipated all the time, like he's just he's consternation. He has this look of consternation or constipation, but he's always looking into the yonder with this serious, you know, consternation, dismay. Oh, what has happened to our Republican Party? The Republican Party of Lincoln. We went from Lincoln to Trump. He destroyed everything. You voted alongside 90.2% of the time. Okay. Then Liz Cheney, 92, the age of Trump. 92.9% of the time. Okay. 92.9% of the time. How is this man so extreme? I want to know, like, when Cheney says he's extreme, what on earth does she mean? Trump the barbarian. What does he mean? What does she mean? Secret spaceship, exactly. CMW, Joel. What does she mean when Trump is saying that Trump is extreme? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Why did you vote alongside Trump 92.9% of the time? Here, we can look at all the yes and no votes. Here, yes, 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 yes. Right here, yes, 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 yes. Okay, no there. Okay, and then towards the end, you got a bunch of no's. Oh, no, yes. I mean, no, 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 no. Yes. Here, Cheney vote, Trump vote. So hold on one second. So there you go. Cheney vote, Trump vote. So they always correlated. Okay? They correlated a lot. Even towards the end of his last year in office. Joel Valdez, heathen barbarian. He's a Trump. Hopefully, we can have a good Republican like Mittens Romney, who puts his dog on top of his car. Is a good Republican. There's nothing. He's a good Republican. Paul Ryan, a good Republican. He doesn't do anything bad to anyone except try to set up and frame Trump using McCarthy era tactics with Democrats. Other than that, nothing. A good person. Mittens Romney. Trump the barbarian, heathen barbarian. Polite society is something you don't want to be a part of ever. They're impolite society. They're very impolite society. They're not polite. Okay? They're not polite. They're not polite. Don't be part of polite society. They're impolite and mean. Can't we just have a good Republican that the Washington Post's columnists like? Any Republican that could win will be viewed as worse than Trump. This is the headline. If Mitt Romney was the next Republican, at first they'd be like, finally, sanity. And then if polls, which would never show this, but if polls show that Mitt Romney would actually defeat Biden, which that would never happen, but they would say, we thought we disliked Trump. We thought that we disliked Trump, but really, Mitt Romney is an even more extreme version of Trump. He's the true barbarian. Trump was just a heathen. Mitt Romney is a diabolical barbarian. Trump worse than Trump menace. And we have the Romney dossier. Oh my God, if you thought the Trump dossier was bad, the Romney dossier is even worse. In fact, Liz Cheney has said we have to do something about this Romney dossier. We should step down. Liz Cheney is the best. Every Republican that actually can defeat a Democrat, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger will say, I disagree. No, no, no. What's with you, Republicans? As they vote 90+% of the time with Trump. And we know who's responsible for everything. It's Trump. Trump is the worst human being that's ever existed. Take, for example, me, Mitchell McConnell. I was voted most handsome in my senior class in Kentucky. And as you can see, the ladies love me. There's a lot of things to love about me. And I just want 70 million people to understand that if you did vote for Trump, you are very good people who could possibly vote for Romney. No, maybe, no, okay. Mitchell McConnell out. Mitchell McConnell out. You need a script. The turtle. Thank you, M. Evram. Thank you. So you have you have this situation where the entire system is leveled against Trump. The entire American system, thank you, Ernest, is leveled against Trump. And Roger Rabbit, hello. And here you have Elon Musk searching. So the CEO is going to be the worst human being to ever exist, according to media. The CEO is going to be just the worst human being to ever exist. Here, let's have a poll. Who should be next CEO of Twitter? Joel Valdez. See, listen. Joel Valdez, thank you. Hold on. Joel, who should be the next CEO of Twitter? Steve Bannon, Donald Trump Jr.? That would be amazing. It'd be amazing. Who should be the next CEO of Twitter? Could you imagine that? Be like, oh my God, it's becoming overtly political. It was always overtly political. Lance, thank you. So we'll do 5 more minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen. Um, that would be awesome. But I don't think Elon Musk is I don't think that he wants that political, like, Trump Musk 2024 would be amazing. I don't think anyone can beat Trump DeSantis. That would be amazing. Again, though, the you have to have an olive branch thrown to the Georgia and Arizona Republican parties. There has to be an olive because you have Herschel Walker barely losing, Kate Lake barely losing. Imagine if imagine if they could um imagine if you actually have the backing of these Republican state parties. Trump would be unstoppable. And the reason is the negative media coverage. There has to be an emphasis. There has to be an emphasis on building an olive branch or a detente, or you know giving an olive branch to these to there has to be some emphasis on making peace with the Georgia and Arizona, the Georgia and Arizona um, political parties, state political parties. Exactly, gooey, exactly. We're all Americans. We are all Americans. That's true. We're all Americans, and the issue here is that Democrats, media, government officials work together legally to break laws. You can do so legally. Okay. When when a when a corporation fires somebody, they're engaging in a legal act. You can sue, and then you prove that their bureaucratic endeavors were actually illegal. So it's not illegal to fire somebody. So the way media or Democrats view the Twitter files, like, well, nothing they did was illegal. Yeah, you could. I mean, there have been cases where hazardous waste is dumped in rivers, and it's like, well, when the act took place, at that point they weren't committing an illegal act. It had to be proven in a court of law that the bureaucratic, the protocol, the bureaucracy was, that was wrong, and it actually did break laws. No, I'm not on Truth, not on Twitter, not on any of them. All right, so who can be here? This is the most important poll question of all time. Okay. All right. So who can be here at 10:30 p.m.? Pacific. Pacific. 10:30 p.m. Pacific. Pacific time. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I need your Pacific time. 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. eBay, eBay time. Born to raise honks. Thank you as always. Thank you as always. Tough it out. Hello. So, who can be here? Secret Spaceship CMW. Born to raise hogs. Everyone here. Joel Valdez. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be here tonight at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. You know, word of mouth, GG, thank you. The word of mouth, thank you, Secret Spaceship, is the best. If you have friends, family who would enjoy this channel, please tell them. We're right at 201,000 subs, people. We're right there. Thanks, everybody. God bless. And yes, 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks, everybody.